Mum's Son, Diaries from the Road. Thoughts, encounters and stories from a European truck driver on the road. Part 1. Diary, June 23rd, 2018. It's 8:59 in the morning in Mantes-la-Jolie, where I've parked my truck. I'm sitting inside it with the curtains drawn, not far from the hotel where I'm supposed to spend the next 2 days. All truck drivers in Europe must now take their obligatory weekly 45 hours rest. And we are no longer allowed to sleep in our trucks. We must stay in a hotel or prove that we are guests in someone's home. For example, if I were travelling through Spain, France or Germany, and I had a relative or a friend living in one of those countries who offered me hospitality, they would have to declare their full details and prove that I stayed at their place. But even though I have friends all over Europe, I don't feel like asking for such favours, for their sake and for my own sense of independence. As I was saying, I am still in my truck, surrounded by pure chaos. Shopping bags, a small suitcase I bought yesterday in a shopping centre so that I can pack the things I need to take with me to the hotel. It seems easy, but when I look at the large suitcase where all my clothes are packed, I never know what to choose. Inside there is everything: a swimming suit, a caftan, an evening dress, shoes that I almost never wear, but that I keep there just in case I have a date. Well, that might happen once a year, if I'm lucky. It's not that I don't get invited out to dinner, but my job means that I never know where I'm going to be that evening, or even the following week, unless I decide to take some time off work. But when I do have time off, there are always so many things to sort out that there is hardly any time left for anything else. My daughter, Sarah, is my priority. Then I need to rest and clean my home, where my son also lives. Unfortunately, he takes after me. Messy. But although I can be messy myself, when I share a home with someone else, I can actually become quite tidy. Anyway, going back to the small suitcase that I am trying to fill, I realise that I cannot put everything I have in the truck inside it. I have already packed 4 pairs of shoes, just to have a bit of choice, including a pair of sandals that I can keep in my bag for the evening. A date. I say maybe, because anything can happen. It might even be cancelled at the last minute because of unexpected changes in the plans of the man I am supposed to meet. I have to be at the hotel reception by midday. I think I will make my visit to Paris tomorrow. I want to go to Voltaire's tomb. I consider him my spiritual father. Mum's Son, Diaries from the Road. Diary, June 23rd, 2018. Part 2. Today is the anniversary of my father's death. He died on the 23rd of June, 1984, at midnight. My maternal grandmother died on the 24th of December, 1983, and my brother died at the age of 36 on the 24th of November, 1995. Many people might see these dates as some kind of curse, but I do not see it that way. As I wrote in my novel, Mum's Son, The Soul Remains Forever Young, the day one dies is like an open door for those who leave us. Every month, I wait for the 24th day of the month, because for the past 20 years, I have had tangible proof that what I believe is true. I really should go back to my small suitcase, which is lying open on my truck bed and covered with all sorts of things, just like the thoughts in my head. Many people would see that as chaos. I see it as the source of my creativity, my imagination, the emotions of a child that help me communicate with children. The proof is in the fairy tale I wrote called Aurora and the Flowers of Happiness. Once again, I must thank Voltaire, my spiritual father, for the help he gave me. I'm writing all this while sitting completely naked in my truck, with the curtains obviously drawn, while the CD player is blasting a Queen album. I can hear people and cars passing by, completely unaware of this crazy female truck driver sitting naked and writing a diary to share with friends all around the world. Now I'm about to massage myself with surgical spirit, followed by cream all over my body. When I've finished, I'll get dressed, put on my sneakers, and go for a walk. I say walk because I cannot run. But one day my friend and spiritual daughter will become my personal trainer and turn me into a brand new person. I have plans for my future. I want to practice all kinds of extreme sports once my life changes. And change it will. I'm sure of it. Before finishing, I want to return to the subject of chaos. My mother herself was never a tidy person. In her bedroom, there was always a chair covered with clothes waiting to be put away. My mother once told me that when I was 2 years old, I ran away from home. We used to live in a large building in the center of Cologno Monzese. At that time, the area was still surrounded mostly by countryside. When we were children, we used to walk to school, my brother and I. My angel, who is now in heaven, and who protects me from above, just as he did when I was a child. France entered my life without me even realizing it when I was 10 years old, in a school essay. That year, we had studied the history of France, and I had become fascinated by the castles. We were given an assignment to invent a story. I wrote a story about the castles of the Loire Valley. The teacher could not believe that it was entirely my own work. Perhaps it was a sign that one day my life would become connected to France and to one of its greatest personalities, Voltaire. Now, I had better go back to my suitcase, otherwise I'll stay here all day and end up writing another book.
Mom's Son, Diaries from the Road. Diary 25th to 26th June 2018. Part 3 and 4. 25th June 2018. Saint-Mihiel, France. I arrived a few hours ago in Saint-Mihiel, a small French village south of Strasbourg. It is surrounded by hills and countryside. During the winter, this area is covered with snow, so I don't like coming here at that time, even if the roads are very well maintained. I have to say that France is one of the best countries in Europe when it comes to road maintenance. I confess that I love and hate my job, but today, I am determined to say only positive things. One of these is the fact that I will have to wait until tomorrow to load the tank container. The product that has to be loaded has not yet been fully approved for transport. The chemical industry has very strict rules about the standards that every product must meet, whether they are dangerous products or not. The positive side of being forced to stay here until tomorrow is that it gives me the opportunity to work on my writings, to edit and format what I have already written. Because I am very much a do-it-yourself kind of person, I have contacted many literary agents in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom to promote my novel, Mom's Son. And at the same time, I have been working on a fairy tale and on a collection of poems. But what happened a few days earlier in Paris with a French film director was something I did not expect. June 26th, 2018. Sometimes, when you are feeling happy, and then something happens that makes you fall down with a heavy thump, you suddenly realize that in this world, there are people who use their work to make fun of women. I want to go back to that Saturday afternoon, when the French film director came to pick me up together with his cameraman friend at the hotel where I was staying. He was on his way to Paris to have dinner at a friend's house. They arrived in a tiny 2-seater off-road car. I was coming out of the cafe just outside my hotel, and they were coming out of the hotel where they thought I was waiting for them. After the introductions, the cameraman had to squeeze himself into the small back compartment, just like children do when there isn't enough space in the car, while the film director and I sat in the front seats. I must say that I am avoiding mentioning his real name because I don't want to embarrass him. He asked me where I wanted to be dropped off in Paris, and then he started giving me a short lesson about how to use the Paris metro. I told him that I had already been to Paris before and that I knew perfectly well how the transport system worked. But that meeting would soon take a direction I did not expect.